All right, so the first question. How did you get involved with yake?
Good question. So I worked for the YMCA of Delaware. My first job at the YMCA of Delaware was running an after-school program in Sussex County in Georgetown, Delaware. And I left the Y to be with my then fiance and my now husband to go down to Florida. That lasted about 10 months. Didn't like Florida, so I called my previous supervisor and said, "Are there any openings with the Y?" And she said, "As a matter of fact, Rocky's retiring, and in youth and government, the position for youth and government is opening up." And I said, "Government really isn't my strong suit, but." She said it's all about event planning, and I was like, I can do that. I can event plan. So my first year for youth and government was Anna Galati was the governor, and I shadowed Rocky, who had then retired, and so my first year independently, the youth governor was Sudi, and I just simply learned from Sudi and learned from the students just by watching and. So that's how I got involved in youth and government. It just kind of happened to be happenstance.
You do so much for yake. What motivates you to help out with the program so much?
Good question. My motivation comes from the very first youth and government conference. I finally got what youth and government was, and I saw how passionate everybody was about it, and I definitely made plenty of mistakes. And I still do. But what motivates me is being able to provide such a unique experience for high school and middle school students throughout the state of Delaware. And if something doesn't go right, or if I forget something, there's major disappointment in the person's eyes, whoever I'm affecting. So at all costs, I try to avoid disappointing anybody. So my motivation is twofold. I want to make sure I meet everybody's expectations, and I want to make sure that I provide the best experience that I possibly can.
All right. How have you seen yake change over the years?
It's changed a lot. Actually, I just met with the youth governor, Tim, recently, and we went through the previous years to see how many people were registered in years past and got involved. And I was amazed to see the numbers. I think the thinnest year was about 59 students total. And so something happened. I call it the perfect storm. I think it was, as I became more comfortable with youth and government, I was able to provide more support for the youth governors. And as a result, the youth governors felt more empowered to recruit and to make changes, and for it to become more of a youth-led conference. And that's still evolving, but I'm still trying my best to make sure it's 100% youth-led. So I think what I've seen is extreme growth in the amount of people that are able to enjoy the youth and government experience. And I've also seen it turn into the teens involved in the program feeling more empowered.
What other programs other than LEG do you run?
So I run youth and government. Right now, that's actually only 25% of my job. So the other programs that I run for the YMCA of Delaware is two other ones are also statewide. The one that is also statewide is called the Young Health Program, which is branded as IM40, and IM40 is the way that we roll out allowing all youth-serving organizations to work within the 40 Developmental Asset Framework. And so I'm the statewide youth engagement coordinator for the IM40 project. I'll be hopefully recruiting any of you that want to be asset champions for that to be involved in IM40 year-round. And I also run a statewide coordinator for YELL, or SAD. YELL stands for Youth to Eliminate Loss of Life, and SAD is Students Against Destructive Decisions. And that is a statewide prevention program, and so there's 32 YELL SAD chapters throughout the state, and there are some delegates in youth and government who are also part of a YELL SAD chapter within their school. So for example, like Ryan Logan, he goes to Salesianum. He's involved in YELL SAD at Salesianum, and he's also involved in youth and government, which is pretty cool. And I know like Charter School Wilmington has a youth and government delegation, and they also have a very active YELL SAD chapter. So if you are interested in becoming in helping your peers be above the influence, I suggest that you help get a Yell Sad chapter started in your school. You can call it anything you want. You don't have to call it Yell or Sad. You can call it a group above the influence if you'd like. And then the fourth thing that I do, which is actually my pet, my own project, is a gardening program at the Walnut Street Y in downtown Wilmington. So I have 2 sites in which I have raised bed gardens, and the raised bed gardens is a way for our summer campers and our after school program students to learn about where their food comes from. And so if anybody's interested in a volunteer opportunity, that is, I can't think of a more rewarding way to spend your summer than digging in the dirt, watching kids being amazed that the little seed that they planted actually turned into a fruit or tomato or spinach or whatever, and just being outside in the sun. So those are all my programs.
Awesome. And the last question is, what's your favorite part about YIG?
My favorite part about YIG is that it is a forum in which everybody gets to speak their mind and everybody is respected. So I think that's really the bottom line when it comes to youth and government. It's an opportunity for people to find their voice, speak their minds, and to be heard, and it's respectful, and it's done in a respectful way.